Today we'll talk about costs of living in Thailand and why I think it's not that cheap, okay? Well, of course it depends on what you want, but let me tell you about my journey and my evolution. When I first came to Thailand, the first time I rented a condo long term, and by long term I mean 3 months at a time, I picked a place that was 11,500 baht, and I thought it was a good deal. I didn't care much about the location of the condo as long as it was within walking distance to a train station. In my case, it was 15 minutes walking distance to the BTS station. And that's really all I cared about, because when you, let's just say, good example, okay, you arrive in Thailand, and in most cases, even if you get in touch with a lot of the agents that rent condos or make appointments, it will take a couple of days or even weeks until you can actually move in. So until then, you're actually staying in a hotel or Airbnb, which is way more expensive and not as comfortable in my experience in terms of having your own apartment where you have your privacy. So of course the motivation is to move out as quickly as possible, and the mistake I made was I picked the first place that I thought was decent, without looking at the alternatives or spending more time researching, because you might, get in touch with 20 people and there's only 5 that reply and say, hey, okay, you can come today or tomorrow to have a look at the room. So that's one thing that I realized, that I have the tendency to want to move out as quickly as possible, and that oftentimes leads to not making the best decisions, which is obvious. And the other thing that I only realized weeks later was that, okay, the condo, the room was actually decent, a nice room, was not that expensive for a room of that size and quality in Bangkok, but it was a hassle to do anything else other than going to the BTS and maybe to 7-Eleven around the corner, because the gym was far away and it would have taken me, 20, 30, 40 minutes one way to the gym, okay, because I had to walk to the BTS station, then go to the gym, then go back, and all these extra costs add up as well, and the taxi as well. So that room that seemed to be, cheap or decent wasn't that cheap anymore once I factored in all the additional costs traveling back and forth, okay? The second thing that people tend to forget is costs such as visa runs, health insurance. Many don't even, get health insurance. And banking fees. Now, this will depend on, your bank, but for most people, there will be banking fees when you withdraw money. And of course, in terms of perception, the costs of living in Thailand, there's a big difference between holiday and long-term stay. Okay, a lot of the things that you will do on a holiday, you're not going to do while you stay here long-term. Yeah, at the initial stage, you're going to do, let's just say, a lot of partying and all of that. But for the most part, you will get desensitized to it. Number 2, it will be too expensive. If you do the thing where you spend $100 or $200 a day, unless you're super wealthy, you can't do that for several months straight. And then, of course, a common question that people ask is like, how much do I need? And of course, when you look at a question like this, it's common sense that the question itself is the problem. Because if you don't know what you want, like what do you actually want? Do you just want to exist in Thailand, or do you want to have a good time? And do you need certain things that need to be in place, such as, I don't know, living in a certain location or gym, etc., etc. What are your plans for, let's say, meeting girls? Is it online dating? Is it mostly bar girls? That will all play a role in picking the right place for you to stay, whether it's a hotel or it's a condo or it's an Airbnb. And of course, those things all influence how much money you need. So you should first ask yourself what you want specifically, and then you can look at, okay, how long do you plan on staying? to do what you want to do. And then you can say, okay, this is my budget. And then you can pretty much figure out yourself how much you need. But that how much do I need question is kind of open-ended, and you will get lots of answers that won't get you any further. Now, if you have thought about going to Thailand and maybe as a way to save money, okay, maybe you're, where you're staying now in some Western country is spending, I don't know, $1,000 or so a month or even more, and you're thinking about going to Thailand and doing less than that, it is certainly possible, okay? I mean, a lot of people have a very, I would say, negative perception. I don't know if perception is the right word, but in a way they say, why would you do that? Or you can't do it, or it's kind of pointless. But if you make certain adjustments, I would say it's possible. It's not something I would personally enjoy doing because of the reasons mentioned. For example, I would need to, get a condo similar to the one that I had when I first came to Thailand, where it's like in a remote location, and even doing, running an errand or something like that will take, I don't know, an hour or more, and is a hassle. So I wouldn't want that just for the low quality of quality of life that I would experience in such a situation. But let's just say you want to do that and you want to live on a couple $100 a month. All you really need to do is food won't be the issue. You can always get rice and stuff like that. But the biggest expense adjustment you need to make will be partying. So instead of partying or going to the bars, you will probably have to do online dating. And then when you drink something or have a date, do low budget things. Buy drinks from 7-Eleven, go to places that are free. Asiatique, for example, is a nice dating spot. And then it's certainly possible. The question you have to ask yourself is if that's what you want to do, if that scenario is better than what you have back at home. And that is always a question. That is always something you have to keep in mind. You can do a short holiday, or you can stay here, but staying here long term holiday style isn't realistic. That's the point I'm trying to make here. And to conclude this video, 2 interesting questions that I've taken from the comment section. The first one is Jima asking, do you recommend 5 days in Bangkok and 5 days in Pattaya? So this is a very common question, like how many days should I stay in Pattaya, or should I first go to Pattaya or first to Bangkok? In my opinion, it doesn't really matter, okay? It's not that important because you can easily go from Bangkok to Pattaya on the weekend or during a day just to check it out. So that is not an issue. But generally, if you're a complete newbie, never been to Thailand, have no experience in going to bars, then I would generally recommend Bangkok because it's not as extreme. And if you feel like it's not enough, then you can head over to Pattaya on a weekend. Easily, no problem. Take the bus. It's 150 baht, roughly 2 hours. No issues, okay? And a question about Airbnb from Ermski40. I just checked the condo. He says, I used Airbnb and I noticed a fee for cleaning. Is that fee applied at the end of the rental? Yeah, so any place I've ever stayed at, Airbnb condo that I've rented, you always have the cleaning fee, obviously, that you pay not once you leave, but that they will automatically add when you book your room. So that's it. Cost of living in Thailand. My thoughts. If you have any questions or thoughts in regards to this or your experience, then let me know.